I was on TikTok Live the other day, and a commenter asked how to reduce nasality in her voice feminization practice. And this is what I had to say.
Nicole says, how do I learn to not speak through my nose? I tried vocal training last year and got exhausted. So Nicole, I'm going to assume that you were working on maybe brightening or raising the pitch of your voice, like things we would traditionally do in the vocal feminization process. So what Nicole is referring to is the nasality question. I think we talk about this every week because it's so prevalent in feminization, is this thing called nasality. So I'm going to also assume that you know you're speaking through your nose, because if you go and look at my video called the nasality test, you will know that there's like multiple ways to have a nasal sound. It can be through this nasality quality, or it could be through this twangy quality, which is not nasal. It sounds almost identical, but the air is moving in a different way. But the reason why it usually happens, when we raise the larynx, sometimes we get a sympathetic lowering of the soft palate. So the soft palate, see my uvula? That is the soft palate. So you can raise it, like if you were to gasp on an ah vowel, you see that raising happening? It's very subtle. But when we try and raise the larynx, sometimes we get a lowering of the soft palate. Those things come together, and what happens is we've made a really small space for air to escape through our mouth, but we've made a really wide space for air to go through the nose. And that creates this nasal sound. So instead of just raising the larynx, we're like closing the back of the throat and pushing air through the nose. So one way that you can work on this is you can do your larynx raising exercise or whatever exercise you're doing to brighten. It doesn't have to be raising the larynx. Basically, you do your exercise to raise your larynx. And then what you're going to try and do is breathe through your mouth. That's it. It's actually that simple. So you can close your nose. I'm going to do it right now. So I'm going to do an exercise called the whisper scream. It's a popular one. So you can hear the sound gets like glassier, brighter, and I'm not using pitch. I'm only using resonance. Okay, so now that it's in that raised position, I'm just going to breathe. I'm going to close my nose. And that way you know that you're breathing adequately through your mouth. You're not closing off your mouth so that air is forced to go through your nose. That is how I would address that. But give that a try and let me know if that helped.
If you want to get your trans voice questions answered directly by me, join me every Monday at around 12:15, 12:20 Eastern Time on TikTok Live. And I hope this helps.